Hello. I don't suppose you've ever met a giant, except in a storybook. There's a giant living right next door, and sometimes, if you're very quiet, you can hear him laughing. Shh, listen.
And sometimes he looks over the wall to see what we're doing.
Yes, he's a very friendly giant. Not a bit like the giant who ran round hitting people with his balmy knocker. And not a bit like the giant who liked to eat little boys for breakfast. Fried boys on toast. This is a giant book of giant stories. Would you like to hear a story about a giant?
Yes.
Would you? Early one morning, Jim woke up and looked out of the window. And there, outside the window, was an enormous plant.
That's funny,
He said.
it wasn't there yesterday. I'll see how high it goes. It certainly is a big plant.
He said, as he went up into the clouds. When he reached the top of the plant, Jim saw a castle. Feeling hungry after his climb, he decided to ask at the castle for some breakfast. He waited and waited. Until the door was slowly opened by a very old giant.
A boy. A nice, juicy boy. Fried boys on a slice of toast. That's what I used to enjoy eating in the old days. But I've got no teeth now. Come in, boy. You're quite safe.
The giant shared his breakfast with Jim. Then he looked at him very closely and asked,
Is your name Jack?
No, it's Jim.
I remember years ago, a boy called Jack came up a beanstalk. But it was a long time ago, when I was just a lad. And now I'm old, and my eyesight's not so good.
Haven't you got any glasses?
Glasses?
Yes, reading glasses. They go on your nose and ears.
It's my eyes I'm talking about.
These glasses are for your eyes.
said Jim, and he explained about glasses while the giant listened carefully.
Get 'em. Get 'em for me. I'll pay for them with gold.
I'll have to measure you.
So Jim measured the giant's head. The giant gave Jim a gold coin, and Jim climbed down the beanstalk, holding the coin tight. He showed the coin to his mother, but before she could say anything, he got dressed and ran off to the optician. The optician could hardly believe his eyes when he saw the giant gold coin. But he set to work straight away. He worked all night. And in the morning, the glasses were ready, Jim carried the glasses home. Then he tied them on his back and climbed up the beanstalk. The giant loved his glasses. He put them on and found he could see much better.
You're a good boy. Now I can see you properly. I wonder what you'd be like to eat. But then I can't eat anything much nowadays because I've got no teeth.
Why don't you have false teeth?
False teeth? Never heard of them.
So Jim explained about false teeth while the giant listened carefully.
Get 'em for me. I'll pay for them with gold.
So Jim measured the giant's mouth.
Make sure they're big teeth and sharp.
The giant gave Jim another gold coin, and Jim climbed down the beanstalk, holding the coin tight. He showed the coin to his mother, but before she could say anything, he ran off to the dentist. The dentist could hardly believe his eyes when he saw the giant gold coin, but he set to work straight away. He worked all night, and in the morning the teeth were ready. Jim carried them home. Then he tied them on his back and climbed up the beanstalk. The giant loved his new teeth.
I used to be a good-looking lad. Great head of flaming red hair I had. And now look at me.
Why don't you have a wig?
A wig? Never heard of a wig.
So Jim explained about wigs while the giant listened carefully.
Get one. Get one that's red and curly. I'll pay for it with gold.
So Jim measured the rest of the giant's head. The giant gave Jim another gold coin, and Jim climbed down the beanstalk, holding the coin tight. He showed the coin to his mother. But before she could say anything, he ran off to the wig maker. The wig maker could hardly believe his eyes when he saw that giant gold coin. But he set to work straight away. He worked all night. And in the morning, the wig was ready. Jim carried it home. Then he tied it on his back and climbed up the beanstalk. The giant loved his wig.
Marvelous. Wonderful. I feel like a new giant. And my appetite has come back too. Fried boy.
Jim didn't wait to hear any more. He ran to the beanstalk, slid down it as fast as he could, grabbed an axe, and chopped down the beanstalk. Then, suddenly, something else landed. It was a huge piece of paper wrapped around a giant gold coin. On the paper, the giant had written,
Dear Jim, thank you for the teeth and the glasses, also the lovely wig. Your friend, the giant.
Jim ran inside. He showed his mother the giant gold coin.
You'll be able to keep that coin for yourself,
She said. Somewhere in the distance, Jim heard the rumble of giant laughter. We made some presents for our friendly giant.
Here's a giant comb.
Yes.
A giant's toothbrush.
Yes.
And a giant hanky.
Yeah. How about giving the giant his presents?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, then, here we are. I'll steady the ladder. Off you go, Danny. Give the giant his comb. Now, Sandy with the toothbrush. Oh, she's going to be so surprised. Natalie and Chuma, come on. With the duster to polish his glasses. That's it. Careful. That's right, I've got the ladder. Off you go. I hope he enjoys his presents. Bye.